Hi everyone, I'm Bianca from Trip 101, and welcome to another episode of our Travel Talk series. This is a series where we talk to local tour guides from all over the world and get insights about their cities and their region. So we ask them for traveler tips that would make the travel journey more efficient and more enjoyable for our viewers. Today we're talking to Shazriza, who's based in Kuala Lumpur, the capital of Malaysia. Hi, Shazriza.
Hi, hello everybody. Hi, Bianca.
Can you tell us about your experience as a tour guide? I understand you've been working in the industry for about 7 years now, right?
Yes, I've been a tour guide for around 6, 7 years, and I think this job is actually my passion. Every time I wake up in the morning, I feel energized and I can't wait to go to work. I enjoy meeting new people from all around the world, from other countries where I get to learn their culture, their languages as well. In return, where I get to introduce my country and also what all the unique things about Malaysia.
Since you're based in Kuala Lumpur, is there any specific attribute or characteristic of the city that travelers should be excited to experience for themselves?
While you're in Malaysia, you don't be afraid to eat a lot. So I can say, because we have a various kind of food because Malaysia is a multiracial, multi-religious society. So the food is available everywhere, 24 hours a day. And yes, just enjoy the food and don't be afraid to gain a few kgs.
Okay. So before we move on to talking about the food, let's talk about how travelers can get to the city first. Are there any international airports in Kuala Lumpur?
Yeah, the nearest international airport, the main international airport would be KLIE, which is Kuala Lumpur International Airport. But this airport is actually located about 55 kilometers from the city center. You can get to the city. The easiest way would be by taxi, or we have like something like equivalent to Uber here. It's called Grab. So Grab is very famous for Southeast Asia. You can take Grab and you go anywhere, especially from the airport to the city. If you are in a hurry, you can take the KLIE Express, which is the train express directly from KLIE through the city. If not, the last option would be not walking, but you can take the airport coach, which is the bus, which is can take you to various places or destination. Yeah,
Okay.
but from the city center.
So you mentioned a few different options for transportation. Is there any that you would recommend for safety reasons or for budget travelers?
I think for budget travelers, you can take the bus. The bus nowadays, it costs about 16 ringgit. I'm not sure how much is it in you divide by 4.5. But if you want to be like the easiest for you, the most convenient way would be by Grab. Yeah, because Grab will take you directly to your hotel or to your desired destination.
For the train, are there any travel passes or travel cards that tourists can buy to make their trip more affordable?
For the Kalari Express, actually, we have the special. If you want to get to the city, actually, for Kuala Lumpur, we have a special pass. It's called the My City Pass. We have like for 1 day, 2 day, or 3 days pass. So this is actually you would need to have a local card. It's called Touch and Go, where you can actually like show the card. Okay, show your Touch and Go card to any of the train station, and they will and just mention that you want to purchase this My City card, and this card actually allows you to have unlimited rides on the train and also the buses,
Okay,
the public trains and buses.
I see. Is this available for just 1 day or 2 or 3 days?
Available for 1 day, 2 days, or 3 days. We have these three options. Yep.
So that seems like a very efficient way for travelers to get around.
Yeah.
I'd also like to know if there are any options for travelers to rent a car in case they prefer to drive themselves around the city.
Yeah, they have options like goods. They have a counter at the airport, but it depends on which country you're from. From Southeast Asia countries, You don't need to apply for international driving permit, but for other countries, you usually have to apply for the permits.
Okay, I see. So that's a great tip for our travelers, maybe from Europe or the Americas, just so they know what to look out for. Now that we're speaking more about Kuala Lumpur, let's talk about the neighborhoods or the different areas in it. So, for example, in the city center, would you say that there are any cultural or historical attractions that travelers should make the time to visit?
I would say because Kuala Lumpur actually is not a big city. It's very interesting because we have quarters like the colonial quarters, the Chinatown, which is the Chinese quarters, and also we have an area called Kampung Baru, which is one of the oldest kampung or Malay village in the city. You get to experience the authenticity of the traditional lifestyle and of course the food that you can experience as well.
I see. There are different quarters in Kuala Lumpur. Is it easy to travel between those quarters? Is it within walking distance, or you'd recommend taking a grab to the different sections?
If you like to walk, then, but it takes maybe 1 or 2 hours. Some of the quarters, it used to be like predominantly, okay, lived by certain races, but not anymore. Like other is already mixed up, but the history is still there. So it's if you wanna go to this actually is within walkable distance from certain quarters, not all. But if you want to experience walking and to see what's on the roadside, some people would like that. And the weather here is really hot. You can walk, but please bring a lot of water.
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
a good tip. So you mentioned Kampung Baru and it being
Yeah.
a great place to experience the culture of Kuala Lumpur. Are there any
Yeah.
particular maybe restaurants that you can recommend in the neighborhood or travelers can try maybe authentic dishes?
For Kampung Baru, they have a few like famous restaurants, but usually that restaurant caters for like local, of course, local cuisine, Malay traditional food, like for example, nasi lemak. And nasi lemak is actually literally translated as coconut rice, which is very famous, some part of Southeast Asian. I don't know, Bianca, did you ever try nasi lemak before?
Yeah, I have. Sadly, not in Malaysia.
Yeah, because we have a similar culture. So this is the food that binded us together in Southeast Asia. So I like that. And yeah, you have to try. I'm so sorry, I can't remember the name of the restaurant. But everywhere you go inside, the food is tasty. It depends on the people. Some people say, "Oh, this is the best restaurant." Some people say, "Oh, this is the best restaurant." But it depends on your taste. Like for example, this restaurant might be catered for tourists because it's not as spicy as it should be. For locals, this is okay, but for tourists, this is the best. It depends.
Aside from Kampung Buro, are there any other food spots or neighborhoods that are known for their food?
Okay, like for example, if you were so called, okay, one stop center, okay, for food heaven, you usually for a lot of people, even for the locals as well, they would simply go to Jalan Alu.
Mhm.
Jalan Alu is this famous food street in Kuala Lumpur, about 100 meters long. You have various food that you could choose from. I'm like, I've been there for many times already, but still, I haven't tried everything yet. So
Wow.
it's, yeah, so it's a good experience. If you're lazy to go around and just want to have this one long street that you can try everything, this is the place.
And what neighborhood is this in? Is it closer to the city center?
Yes, it's at the city center.
Okay.
It's in the area called Bukit Bintang. Bukit Bintang
Okay.
literally means here. This is the shopping district.
Oh, so that's where you would recommend people shopping for souvenirs to go.
For souvenirs, I would recommend a place called Central Market. Central Market is not too far from the old quarter, which is nearby Chinatown. That is the one-stop center for souvenir shopping. It's like for local handicrafts. You can find it over there. Usually when I bring my guests to Central Market, they will ask me, please give me more time in Central Market.
Are there any specific handicrafts or local goods that you recommend travelers pick up so they can remember their time in the city?
Usually I will recommend food, like local snacks that they could buy and bring back home. and give out to their relatives or family to try, and then they will come again to Malaysia.
Do you have any favorite snacks that you would recommend?
I don't know whether you know this or not, but something like durian crackers.
Oh, I haven't tried it. I haven't had the pleasure.
So yes, like durian, either you love it or you hate it, right? The most important thing is that you try. Some are not well received by some tourists, but it's okay. At least they tried.
Yeah.
But some of them really fall in love with these local snacks, local crackers. And they actually bought a lot from this place, Central Market. Yeah.
Okay. And so when tourists are shopping in the central market, in their local markets, is it common to find people bargaining or haggling with the sellers?
Yes, it's one of the skill that you must have in your life. But just try. There's no harm in doing it.
You have any tips for anyone going to Kuala Lumpur?
So again,
Do you have any bargaining tips for people coming to Kuala Lumpur?
okay, for bargaining tip, make some cute face and please give me some discount. Yeah.
I keep that in mind when I come for a visit, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, you can try. The keyword here is to try. Okay. Either they want to give you discount or not, it's up to the seller, but whatever it is, you have to try.
Other than the central market, and for Bukit Bintang, for example, are those more big malls or big stores?
Yes, because in Bukit Bintang, this is the Golden Triangle. We have about 7, 8 malls in
Oh,
that
wow.
area alone. It caters to different kind of market. So it has malls that cater to the high-end products and then some malls that are for low-end product. I'm not saying it's not in a good quality. So it's like you can just walk around going into this mall and then come out to go to the next mall. So everything in walkable distance.
Okay, it's all near each other.
Yes. So it's because of the hot weather as well, and people really love to stay in the air conditioned bars, which is like heaven for us Malaysian.
Yeah. Okay. I also wanted to ask if you have any recommendations for places to stay for families or couples. Are there any areas that are particularly suited for them?
Keeping town as well because everything is there.
Mhm.
If you want everything near to you, then Bukit Bintang is the place. Another place that I would recommend would be Brickfields is actually nearby the hub for transportation in KL, which is the KL Central Station. This is actually the final station for the KLIA Express, the train express from the airport. It will stop at this station. And when you go outside, just opposite of KL Central, this is an area called Brickfields, where they have many hotels. Brickfields is also nearby Little India. So if you are keen to experience Indian cuisine, this is the place.
Okay. Aside from areas closer to the city center, are there any suburbs on the outskirts that travelers can also stay in?
I would say Petaling Jaya. Petaling is the oldest suburb from Kuala Lumpur. It's just next to Kuala Lumpur. If you want somewhere near to nature, but not that far from the city, you can go to a suburb called Gombak.
Mhm.
Okay, Gombak is actually where the biggest Hindu temple in Malaysia located. The Batu Caves is actually in Gombak.
Mhm.
And then in Gombak also, they have many waterfalls that you can go to. If you like to have some adventurous activity, what is it, rock climbing and something like that, it's also nearby that area. So it's like about 13 to 15 kilometers from the city center. It's not that far, about 20 to 30 minutes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's good to know that there's a lot of options as well for travelers and attractions to visit.
Yeah, but actually, not too far from Bukit Bintang, we have the oldest forest reserve in KL as well. So it's about 10 minutes from Bukit Bintang. Nature is everywhere here. Just use the Grab apps. So it's okay. I want to go to some jungle or forest.
Okay. I'm sure that after travelers go to these different attractions, they'll also be hungry. We could talk more about the food and what's really special to try in Kuala Lumpur. Aside from the dish that you mentioned earlier, are there any other local foods that travelers must try when they're in the city?
Apart from nasi lemak, we have, because nasi means rice here.
Mhm.
So we have a lot of different kind of nasi dishes. Fried rice, yeah, nasi lemak, biryani rice. Because of the culture already, how to say, melange, mixed together. For example, in the morning you have nasi lemak, which is a typical Malay traditional. And then in the afternoon you can have this noodle, which is a wider compared to the normal noodle, which is like originates from Chinese food, but it's actually Chinese food. The taste is already suited with the local elements. For Malaysian, I'm so sorry to say this. Okay, sorry, fellow Malaysians, but Malaysia just, I don't know, I read on the news that Malaysia is considered is one of the most obese country in Asia. And that is not surprising lah for me. Okay. Because we have a lot of good food. Sorry.
Also in the Philippines, we also love rice. So I'm sure that if
Oh,
any Filipinos watching, they know where to go now.
yeah, please, Filipinos, come here to Malaysia and enjoy their food. Not just Filipinos, okay? All of you who is watching this video, and I would welcome it for you to enjoy local food, delicious food everywhere.
Absolutely, yeah. So are there any maybe food markets that you would recommend so travelers can try a lot of different options aside from the food street that you mentioned?
But from Kampung Baru,
Yeah.
apart from Alu, which is the food street, you can also go to Chinatown. Chinatown is actually being revamped nowadays because they have a lot of restaurants up and coming. So it's like you have choices over there as well. So it can be from, not to say fine dining, but it's quite like a nice restaurant, like local kopitiam. This is like a local cafe. Also is over there as well. It's like a concentrated area with a lot of choices of food. Okay, so these three places I would recommend: Jalan Alu, Kampung Baru, China. Not forgetting Little India. It's a really nice Indian cuisine. You have to go to Little India.
Okay, I see. And so since there are so many options, and I know we've talked about how it's easy to go from one place to another in Kuala Lumpur, but just in case you
Yeah,
travelers want to stay in one place, are there any food delivery apps that they can download just so they don't have to travel anymore?
it's together inside the Grab app.
Mhm.
Actually, they also deliver food as well. So it's
Oh,
very easy.
yeah. And they
Mhm.
have a lot of options for travelers too.
Yes, of course.
Okay. Yeah. So, what about convenience stores for picking up snacks to bring home? Are there a lot of convenience stores available?
Yes, like here, 7-Eleven. Okay, 7-Eleven we do have in Malaysia, especially, and we also have local convenience stores called KK Mart. KK Mart usually opens 24/7, and another one would be 99 Speed Mart. Also, one of the famous local convenience store. They have a lot of franchise. I mean, like a lot of stores
Mhm.
throughout the country. Yep.
Okay. And for the convenience stores, would you recommend that travelers buy bottled water or is the tap water safe to drink in case they don't want to buy bottled water?
See, because here we filter our water using the, because even like homes, okay, they are using this water dispenser, okay, filtered. They filtered the water, and I don't recommend for you to drink straight out from the tap. Yeah, so if you would want to drink from the tap, please boil it first.
Yeah.
Yeah, just buy a bottle of water, and usually at the cafes or like a restaurant. Here we have like a fast food local restaurant called Mama. Everything is like very fast. So a glass of water will cost you about, I think, 50 cent ringgit.
Okay, I see.
But yeah, just buy this one big bottle of water for you to drink, because it's very important to drink here. The weather is very hot.
All right. So for food options, there are a lot of options, but are there also maybe choices for vegans, vegetarians, or those on gluten-free diets? Can they easily find restaurants for those restrictions?
Yes, because we have a lot of vegetarian restaurants, because due to a religious reason. Okay, you can is easily to find in KL.
Okay. But is it common to find pets in restaurants? Or are there only a few pet-friendly restaurants?
Only a few, because in Malaysia, okay, Malaysia is about it is a majority Muslim. About I think about 60% are Muslims. Not to say we don't like pet, but some people they not really keen on especially dogs. So, but there are some pet friendly restaurants, but the only thing is we are not used to it in Malaysia.
Okay. So what about kid-friendly restaurants? Are those easy to come by for traveling families?
Oh my god, we love kids. And every restaurant is kids friendly. Most of them. I don't know about the owner. Maybe some owner don't like kids, but like not for most of the restaurants. Yeah, I think 99%. I think 99.9% welcome kids in their restaurant.
Okay. So do you have any favorite restaurants that you would recommend to travelers?
For them, this is one of the famous restaurants. It's called Madam Puan. Puan is actually, they have few branches here in KL and food is really good. I really recommend just to have their food there. And
Are there any particular dishes that you always order when you go there?
always order fried rice or lemak. Sorry,
Okay.
I'm truly Malaysian. Nasi lemak is like is a staple food for me.
With good reason, anything.
Yes.
So for this restaurant and other popular restaurants, would you recommend that travelers make reservations in advance, or can they just walk in?
If you want to be safe, just do a reservation, especially for the fine dining restaurant.
How can you typically book a table? Are there any websites consolidate all of the reservation?
Usually they have their own website. You can go to the website and either you can book on their website or take from them directly.
Okay, good thing for travelers to keep in mind. So in case travelers need to look up where they want to eat or a specific route to get from one attraction to another, would you recommend that they pick up a local SIM card so they can stay connected?
If you stay for a longer period, I would definitely recommend buying a SIM card, which is easily available at convenience stores or even when you arrive at the airport. The telcos have counters just next to them. It's very easy to buy them. Also, if you just want to get connected, Wi-Fi is easily available like at restaurants, some malls, and even at hotels. Yeah.
So are those areas with Wi-Fi, they offer them for free? Or is it something travelers should pay for?
Usually a hotel is already included. But if you go to a restaurant, most of the restaurant will provide free.
Just to go back to restaurants a little bit, but once travelers sit down for the meal and when they're paying for the bill, is it typical for them to need to tip the servers?
Not really. It's not a culture here. But if let's say you're really satisfied with the service, yeah, why not to just give some tips? Okay. To the waiter or waitress, up to you.
Are there
Yeah.
any normal percentages that they should consider tipping?
Advantages is up to them. Here we serve with open heart.
Okay, maybe let's steer away from the food talk now, just so we don't get too hungry. Let's say a traveler has an emergency while they're traveling in Kuala Lumpur. Are there any healthcare facilities that they can turn to for medical concerns?
With hospitals, government hospitals, clinics is available for those who suddenly fall sick. Malaysia is very into medical tourism. A lot of people from neighboring countries they seek treatment here in Malaysia as well.
What are the reputable hospitals or clinics that travelers usually go to?
It depends on what kind of treatment you seek. But some of the famous ones would be Land Eagle Hospital, not far from the city center, which is, I think, 5 kilometers from the center from KLCC.
Okay. So what about maybe if they have just a simple issues, maybe they just need a painkiller or some flu medicine? Can they get those at pharmacies without a prescription?
Yeah, yeah, sure, sure. Yeah, can. Because like certain pharmacies, they have pharmacy, okay? You can ask them about what you're trying to find, what kind of medicine that you're trying to find, and
Mhm.
they will help you on it.
Okay. So for those kinds of transactions, going to a pharmacy or a restaurant, is it better for travelers to use cash or are credit cards widely accepted?
Credit card is widely accepted because Malaysia the highest use of e-wallet in the world currently. So, but cash is still being used. Safely to say that you can use your credit card, debit card in most of the restaurants in the city.
Okay. Yeah. Also, just in case travelers prefer to use cash, are there any places where they can get the best exchange rate?
I would say that the rate is quite competitive. You can find various money changes in shopping malls. Usually in shopping malls, you can easily find it.
Okay. So let's also talk about the safety within Kuala Lumpur. Are there any safety tips that you give your guests to make sure they don't run into any scams while they're in the city?
Yeah, of course. I always tell my guests that wherever in the world, please make sure that you take care of your belongings. I just keep reminding them, okay, make sure that you have your phone, make sure you keep your bags and everything because we never know. It's like just the same, okay? There's a lot of good people in the world, but there's a reason why God creates heaven and hell. Stay vigilant.
Okay. So are there any common scams that tourists should watch out for?
Common scam usually beggars, okay? Beggars will try to seek sympathy from you, but most of from syndicates. Like people carrying babies, we pity them. But the more you give, okay, I'm not saying don't give, okay, don't donate, but please be aware to whom you donate to, okay, whom you make your donation to. If you want to make donation, please go to official account or something. But yeah, this kind of beggars actually is under syndicate. So we're trying hard to reduce their numbers.
Any neighborhoods or specific areas in the city where travelers should stay away from or try to avoid at night?
Most of the time, Malaysia is very safe.
Mhm.
But common sense here, if you're alone, please don't go to the dark alley on your own. You never know. But other than that, quite safe here in Malaysia. Yep.
Okay, that's really good to know. So another thing that travelers I'm sure are very interested in learning about are the attractions in Kuala Lumpur. Are there any hidden gems in the city center?
For say I mentioned about the forest in the city, right? For Bukit Bintang. This is actually is called Forest Reserve, which is the oldest forest reserve in Japan. So it's, if let's say you are feeling stressed, you want to stay away from the hustle and the bustle of the city, but you don't want to go out from the city, just go to the forest reserve.
Mhm.
And also we have like our national zoo, which is not far. The waterfalls, which is about 20-30 minutes from KL also, which people will go there usually during the weekend just to de-stress. You can go hiking, you can go do some activities over there, go jungle trekking, be close to the nature.
What about historical monuments? Are there a lot of them within Kuala Lumpur?
For historical monuments, we have our national monument, one of the places that might interest you to visit over there, which is in the city as well. And also some of the colonial buildings, which have interesting stories about them as well. So yeah.
Okay. So for historical or religious sites, are there any dress codes travelers should be aware of?
Yes, of course, if you go to any religious sites, I would dress decently because we are respecting the place. We have to respect the place. But for example, if you go to the national mosque, they will provide you with robes, okay,
Mhm.
where you can wear if you want to exit the area, okay, the mosque.
Okay. Yeah. And so speaking of clothing, what would you recommend the travelers wear just to keep the weather, to keep the effects of the weather from getting too bad?
Shirt, shorts, please.
So since it does get quite hot in Malaysia, are there any particular seasons you recommend travelers visit to avoid the heat?
Not really, because the weather is more or less the same throughout the year.
Mhm.
There is only that maybe during the monsoon season, which is on November until February, that we receive more rain compared to the rest of the year.
Okay. So no seasons to avoid. Okay. We're winding down the interview because I know you have to
Okay.
go soon. So
Yeah.
I have a couple more questions. Are there any local events or annual festivals that travelers can watch out for while they're in Kuala Lumpur?
Okay. One of the most anticipated event that usually the tourists love to go would be the festival of Sky Pusam. Okay, at Batu Caves, biggest Hindu temple in Malaysia. So Thai Wisdom is actually the celebration of the Lord Murugan, which is the deity that they worship at that temple every year. It depends on the Hindu calendar, but usually early in the year, like in January, more than 1 million people will visit. It's going to be a very interesting experience for people who go there for the first time to participate in the festival and watch people doing all the rituals.
So for that celebration, is it concentrated in a certain part of the city or is it all throughout?
It's concentrated in Batu Caves.
Mhm.
People are blocking that place.
I guess if there's any viewers hoping to go there soon, maybe they should make their travel arrangements already.
Yes. Usually it's in January. Depends on calendar, the Hindu calendar.
Maybe as a last question, I know that you live in Kuala Lumpur. In case you ever go on a staycation or you're recommending a place to stay to guests, do you have any recommendations that you can give our viewers?
I would recommend this hotel called Els.
Mhm.
LSE. It is located in Chinatown. It's a boutique hotel. Quite nice. This is one of my recommendations.
Okay, those are all of our questions for now. Thank you so much, Shazriza, for making the time for this video session and for sharing all of your insights about Kuala Lumpur with us.
Yeah, as to share all the things that I know, I would welcome everybody to visit Malaysia, especially Kuala Lumpur, where I'm at. Yes, thank you very much for inviting me to do this interview session with you and Bianca. And
Thank you. Bye.
okay,